in the kind of dark in the shade. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's sort of working so far, at least. Picked a shady spot because it's being in the sun is a little more intense than I had expected. So my name is Andrew. We are live streaming from off of Forest Road. I don't know, something. We're here on Forest Service land. We're just outside of what is considered to be the Grand Canyon National Park with our travel trailer. And over behind me here is a cell tower that is making all of this possible. So normally when we're out in boondocking in our travel trailer, we would be far from any sort of cell connection, and sometimes I think that's part of the fun of the travel. But it has been both amazing to be here in the forest, and then also able to kind of post updates and things. So with with moderation. So some of you may have seen this on my Instagram, which is leonards.coaching. I appreciate a follow over there on Instagram. And then last time it was really cool to see a bunch of people light up the like button. So I should say that at the top. And then I'm having difficulty reading names here in the sort of shade. But hello to Chris and Ruthless Crab, Sybil. I think I saw Gabrielle. Gabrielle. Bonjour, Paul. Hello again, Jennifer. So it's great to see folks joining in regularly. And hopefully you're getting to hear a little bit of the bird sounds that we're hearing here and the wind. It's pretty amazing. So we are going to meditate for about 25 minutes. I think I said everything off the top. If you haven't, it helps to subscribe to the channel. I'm dangerously close to 100 subscribers, and I think at 100 subscribers, then I can actually use a mobile device beyond just my laptop, which we lugged out here into the forest. So that is a benefit for that. And then if you haven't, I sent out the reminder emails this today, because last Wednesday I said we wouldn't have one of these sits. And so if you don't get those and you want to get those, I'll post my email in chat. And then another way would be to reach out on Instagram. That's leonards.coaching on Instagram. So yeah, thank you, everyone. Let's see. Oh, that's great, Jennifer. So you've done some boondocking outside the Grand Canyon area as well. Yeah, so no cell service is sort of the norm, is my understanding. But our friend Mike had found this location. And if you've ever been to Grand Canyon and you go out on the lookout points, you can see the sort of cell tower in the distance. And that is the cell tower that's making all that possible. So, but yeah, it's really cool out here. Note like both cool and literally cool. It's been in the 80s, and that's a huge welcome reprieve from the 107, I think it is, in Tucson back at home. I know that Saban and Peggy are often on here. If you're not on here now, I imagine you might be watching the recording later, and they are also desert dwellers like we are. So appreciate that. All right. So expectation setting. We'll be sitting together for 25 minutes. We're going to have a technique that you can always feel free to put in the background or to ignore. You can ignore it altogether. You can kind of be like, that's nice, and do your own thing. The technique for today, I figured, at least semi-selfishly, the thing that I've been doing the most in the forest while we've been out here has been listening. So to the sounds, the actual kind of the forest, I don't know, it sounds kind of corny to say the forest breathing, but we've had a fair amount of forest winds, and then the bird activity that is around us. So our technique for today in the 20-ish minutes of our 25-minute sit will be something that in the system we would call just here, or here out. Um, yeah, here out. And then at the end, the last 5 minutes, we'll let go of all the technique and get in some do nothing time. So thank you again for all those in the chat. I appreciate seeing folks catch up in the chat as well, especially for folks that have not been able to make it to the Do Nothing Project. I don't have a duck to use as the bell this week, and I also don't have a bell, but I will use the sound of my voice and let you know that we are going to begin. And so as we start our sits each time, we'll start with the foundation of our posture. So go ahead and sit in a way that will help you be supported, stable, allowing your body to be heavy from the waist down and the body to be light from the waist up. And that could be on a chair or on a cushion. It could be standing, it could be lying down. And then after you've got a posture that's helping you be still and upright, if you're not lying down, I'm just looking to see if there's any tension in the body. So we went on a hike today, and I can kind of feel my shoulders floating up a bit. So just noticing that. You may find that you have tension around the jaw, around the eyes, maybe the neck. And sometimes just noticing the tension will help it to release. And if it doesn't, it's our first chance to bring a no big deal attitude, not only to our sit, but to our experience in general. And then finally, to sort of set the stage and settle in, just a few calm, deliberate breaths. Cribbing as we are always from the Beastie Boys, slow and low is the tempo we're going for. Breathing in slow through the nose allows us to breathe low into the belly. And then slowly exhaling. And that's a physiological cue for the body to shift into a rest and relaxation mode. And so right here is a spot you can just sort of mark as a waypoint. You can drop a pin right here and come back. Just this notion of sitting and being aware that you're sitting. It's an important shift from all of the doing into just being right here. So we'll shift into our technique, a bit of something for today. And like I mentioned, we'll do here out. And that's shorthand for meditating on external sounds. So our anchor, our sounds around us. And the sounds in my environment may be intruding on your environment, so you can always use those. You can use the sound of my voice as well, or any other sort of constant sound that's nearby. And the setup for the technique of using sound as a home base is, as you notice a sound, like the wind, you pour your attention into that sound. Optionally use a label. I'll suggest here, H-E-A-R. And then allow your attention to either continue to focus on more sounds, repeating the same structure, soak the attention in, optionally label. Or if there's no sound, so it just drops, you can notice that too, and label it rest. So I'll let you explore that for a bit as your home base. Again, you're always welcome to use your own home base. And we'll check back in a little bit. So the last few sits that we've done, we've used ION. It's an acronym, ION, something from the Core system. The I stands for interest, and so we use sounds as a object. We begin selecting. Can't hear all the sounds necessarily. So for me in my environment, there's very, very subtle woodpecker noises. And it's kind of interesting. I can't tell where it's coming from, but that's something that as someone sitting with a home base, I might decide that is the most interesting thing in my environment for sound. It's very subtle. Or there's an opportunity, and that opportunity might be that there's a calm sensation in the body, and you may want to shift from sounds to feelings in the body. That's the O. And then necessity. Maybe some people drive by in side-by-sides, and it's really loud. And so I may need to switch to focusing on the noise of the passing cars and see if I can drop the content and just focus on the sound out of just necessity. That's the N. So in the interest of being your own teacher or your own guide, ION is an excellent tool. So I offer that and whatever's coming up for you. And then always knowing that you can go back to that first pin we dropped, that first waypoint. Just the feeling of sitting and knowing that you're sitting. And with all those options available, I'll let you continue and check in a bit. real good space with your home base, you are completely welcome to continue with that. You're in the driver's seat. That's your choice. I'm going to offer a little bit around letting go of the technique now and sort of shifting into neutral. I'm sort of popping the clutch and shifting to neutral and just letting it ride. And for some folks, that might feel like you've been putting in this effort and now you're able to kind of put down your backpack and relax, rest. And then it could also feel a bit spacey, or you might feel unsupported. So then you can always take back up the home base and use that. So this is the point where you can shift over and let it go and move to do nothing. And just a quick recap on do nothing. We're letting go of any deliberate control or any intention to control our attention. And when that intention pops back up, we let it go. And the real magic is in the letting go. So imagine that I rang a bell, or I held up a duck, or I held up a duck. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for taking time out of your Wednesday to sit with everyone here. Thank you to my girlfriend Lisa for making this possible with the hotspot and everything. And or thank you to our friend Mike, who guided us out here into this boondocking spot. Yeah, so oh hey Deb. Yeah, definitely aren't trying to make you jealous, but yeah, I can see why people love this area. So we haven't got to spend a lot of time up here, and so we've been here now for 5 days. I think it's going to be 6 tomorrow. So it's been super fun. Yeah, you're very welcome, Gabrielle, and Ruth. You're very welcome. Paul and Jennifer, Chris. So next week, I think I'm serious that I probably won't be able to guide next week, but I have yet to see my work event agenda. So maybe there's a way I can sneak in a sit on Wednesday at the normal time at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. So I will send out a message to kind of let folks know. Oh, cool. So Paul, I should have asked. So you did hear some of the birds. There was a bird that landed in this tree over here, and it sounded like a ringtone. Like it was doing all of its bird calls sort of in quick succession. And I thought for a moment like it was a fake bird, but it was a real bird. So I would consider, this is an excellent question, Ruth. I would consider tinnitus or tinnitus, whatever the correct pronunciation, to be a hear out, because it is a physical sound and a physical sound generated from the body that doesn't have, it's not related to thought. And so hear in the UM system is usually directed to discursive internal thought. And so so that's the definition that I have heard. A few of the coaches, or a few of the UM coaches I trained with, had tinnitus, and they would do practices around that, and they would use hear out as that, and they actually would use hear out and hear in, just on the off chance that the hear out generates thoughts, and so to begin to kind of untangle the connection between those two things. So, but yeah, that's an excellent question. Okay, great. So the birds, so you could hear the birds. I don't know, could you hear the wind? Because the wind has been blowing pretty, and it's the cool, like, forest breathing wind. So maybe the thing, or the microphone filtered it out. I've been guiding practices for work for some of my coworkers, and we are on Google Meets, and or Google Meet, I should say, and it filters out my bell. So I have switched over to saying, imagine that I rang a bell, or my voice is now playing the role of a bell. So that's kind of an in between. So I don't know sometimes what my soundscape is coming through, vice versa, I guess. But well, excellent. Thank you so much. Again, if you haven't, it would be super helpful if you would subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the likes. And then if you do need to reach out, leonards.coaching on Instagram is one great way. And then I put the email that you can email me at too, if you want to get on the reminder list. So everyone in Do Nothing Project news, Aaron Oak, the executive director of the Consciousness Explorers Club, will be filling in this Sunday. So I'll be moderating, but Aaron will be filling in for Jeff. And so that will be, I don't think that's announced yet, but that will be announced on Saturday if you get Jeff's newsletter. So that's coming up on Sunday, and I'll see you in chat. All right. Thank you, Gabrielle. Oh yeah. And Paul mentioned for Consciousness Explorers Club Monday, so that would be July 10th. Jeff will be the guide for Consciousness Explorers Club, and that's the Monday night normal times. All right, bye everybody.